Mr. Harris, let's turn back to this evening in November. Were you with Cello that evening? Yes. Do you recall what you and Cello were doing? I was sitting in the gas station in the area of Congress and Costner. I was sitting in my car, and Cello pulled up in another car. He was in the car with somebody. I don't know who he was in the car with, but when he got out that car, he spoke to me, and then he got in the passenger side of my car, and he had a gun on his lap, and that's how we started talking that day. And so you said you were at Congress and Costner? Yes, sir. Is this the same area you've talked about earlier? Yes, sir. The Three Stooges? Yes, sir. And you said that was kind of a GD hangout? Yes, sir. And so Cello got in the car with you? Yes. What kind of car were you in, Mr. Harris? A Buick Century. And when Cello got in the car, he had a gun? Yes. And what did Cello say to you, and what did you say to him? He told me that he had talked to Brother Man, and Brother Man had somebody riding around following Pig, and that they wanted me to come with them to catch up with Pig. So when Cello gets in your car, he told you that Bro Man had someone following Pig? Yes, sir. And this is the same Pig we've been discussing? Yes. Ricky Fountain? Yes. And Cello indicated they wanted you to help them? Yes, sir. And did you agree? Yes. At a certain point, did you see Mr. Span that night? Yes. When did you see Mr. Span? Approximately 5 minutes after me and Cello got in the car together. He handed me the phone to talk to Brother Man, and Brother Man told me the same thing, that he had somebody following Pig, and that he wanted me to go with them to catch up with him. And I told them that I meet them on Jackson, which was another hangout for the gangster disciples. What else did Mr. Span say about looking for Pig that night? He told me that he was going to catch up with him, and if he didn't act right, he was going to do it to him. What does that mean? What did you understand him to mean, Broman, when he said, I'm going to do it to him? Kill him. And what did you understand Broman to mean when he said if he, Pig, doesn't act right? From my understanding, Pig was being extorted, and I guess Pig was refusing to pay, so he was saying if he didn't act right, which meant if he didn't pay, or if he didn't want to pay, he was going to kill him. And from your understanding, who was extorting Pig? Brother Man. So Broman said to you, if Pig doesn't act right, I'm going to kill him? Yes, sir. And you said you then went to the area of Jackson? Yes. Why did you go to the area of Jackson? To get a gun of my own, because I didn't feel comfortable not having a gun and having all these guns around me, so Cello had a gun? Yes, sir. Now, by this point, had you met up with Mr. Span yet or not? Yeah, he had met up with me at the gas station. So Mr. Span eventually joined you and Cello at the gas station? Yes, sir. And when Mr. Span joined, was he alone or with someone else? He was with someone else. Who was he with? Main. And is this the same person we've been discussing? Yes. Main, who you knew as a young person? As Little Boss. Little Boss? Yes, sir. And what kind of car was Mr. Span and Main in? A Chevy Impala. Do you recall who was driving? Brother Man. And so Mr. Span arrived at the gas station with Man, and where did you all go? I told them to follow me to on the area of Jackson and Kilbourne so I could get a gun of my own. And did you get a gun? Yes, sir. Now, you previously said that Cello had a gun? Yes. Are you aware of whether or not Mr. Span or Man had a gun? Main had a gun. But you didn't see Mr. Span with a gun? No, sir. So after you got a gun on Jackson, where did you go next? We pulled off to start heading towards downtown, down Jackson. I was following behind Brother Man and Main, and when we got to the intersection of Jackson and Kildare, a Crown Victoria, which is known as a police car, unmarked police car, had made a U-turn behind us and started coming behind us. So we made a right turn on Keeler Street, and before the police can get to the corner to make the turn behind us, me and Cello tossed our guns out the window. So you said you were driving on Jackson towards downtown? Yes, sir. And as you did that, you saw a Crown Vic? Yes, sir. And you associated Crown Vics with police? Yes. So when you say you saw Crown Vic, this was not a marked police car? No. It didn't say Chicago Police Department on the side? No. But you still associated that with the police? Yes, sir. And when you saw the Crown Vic, did you see what the Crown Vic did? Yes, sir. What did it do? It busted a U-turn and started coming up behind us. Behind us, meaning both you and Cello? Yes, sir. Both me, Cello, then the car that was in front of us, which was the car that Brother Man and Main was in. So you and Cello were following Broman and Main? Yes, sir. And did the Crown Vic turn any lights on or sirens? No. And where did you go once the Crown Vic started following you? We made a right turn. Brother Man and made a right turn on Keeler. We made a right turn behind them, but as soon as we made the right turn behind Brother Man and then me and Cello, we tossed our guns out the window in case the police got behind us and pulled us over. And what street were you on when you threw the guns out the window? Keeler Street. And what happened next? We went over the bridge, which was the Eisenhower Expressway Bridge, and I made a left turn on Harrison, but Brother Man and them kept straight down Keeler Street. So you made a left on Harrison? Yes, sir. And Broman kept going. Was he going south? Yes. Did you see where the Crown Vic went? The Crown Vic then passed us up and went behind Brother Man and them. Now, while this is going on, are you in communication with Broman and Main? Yes. How are you in communication with them? Through the phone. We called their phone, they called our phone, and they was letting us know what was going on. Now, at a certain point, did Cello receive or make a telephone call? Yes. And could you hear just Cello's side of the call, or could you hear both sides of the call? I just heard Cello's side. And after Cello hung up the phone, did Cello relay to you who he talked to? Yes. And who did Cello tell you he spoke to? He said he spoke to Main and Brother Man and them, and they said that the police was pulling them over. Pulling who over? Brother Man and Main Man. And is this after you pulled off on Harrison? Yes, sir. So after you had thrown the guns out the window? Yes. Where did you go next after you heard that Bro Man and Main Man were being pulled over? We went back to the area where we tossed the guns out the window to try to retrieve the guns that we tossed out the window. Again, what was the area you tossed the guns out the window? It was on Keeler Street and in between Jackson and Gladys. And so where did you park? I parked the car on Jackson Street. And where did you go? We walked towards Keeler, and once we got to Keeler, that's when we were stopped by the police. Another unmarked vehicle grabbed us, and they searched us and asked us where was we going. And I told them I was going to my girlfriend's house, and I told them I didn't know who Cello was. He was just somebody that was walking too. So when you parked your car on Jackson, you walked up Keeler? Yes, sir. And what were you doing at this time? We was looking for the guns that we threw out the window. And then additional officers stopped you? Yes, sir. Had you found the guns yet? No. And do you recall how many officers stopped you? It was one squad car, but it was like maybe two or three officers in that car. And when you say squad car, are you referring to like a marked police car, or was it a Crown Vic? No, it was a Crown Vic. And the officers searched you? Yes, sir. Did they arrest you? No, sir. They let you go? Yes, sir. And what happened next, Mr. Harris? Cello found one gun and he went to hide it. And then I got stopped again by the police while we was looking for the other one. And I told them the same thing. Gave them the same story that I was walking to my girlfriend's house. And they let me go again after they did contact cards. Did you eventually find that other gun you were looking for? Yes, sir. Where did you find it? In the middle of the street, in the middle of Keeler Street. Once you found the firearm that you had thrown out the window, did you see Mr. Span or Main Man again that night? No, sir. Did you see Cello again that night? I dropped Cello off. After we retrieved the guns, I dropped Cello off like on Jackson and the intersection of Washtenaw or Rockwell by Rockwell Projects, and I didn't see him no more that night either. Where did you go? I went home. So you found the gun you threw out the window? Yes, sir. And did Cello find his gun? Yes, sir. And again, were you in phone contact with Man and Mr. Span while these events were going on? Yes, sir.